Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, strange weather conditions throughout Southern California and what you can do to stay cool.
Then a groundbreaking ceremony for a new transit center in the city.
Plus traffic safety tips to make sure your children are safe as they head back to school.
And a local hospital celebrates its 90th birthday. We'll take you to all the festivities.
These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. Extreme heat, brush fires, and powerful thunderstorms. LA County experienced some strange weather conditions recently as intense heat was followed by scattered storms and even lightning. Parts of Orange County and high desert areas experienced heavy rains and flash flood warnings, and the city also experienced some light rainfall after several days of hot weather. The National Weather Service issued a heat advisory warning. Those who participate in outdoor activities, older adults and children, are encouraged to stay hydrated and out of the heat during periods of intense heat. There are two cooling centers located in the city, one at the Bartlett Center located at 1318 Cravens Avenue, and also at the Katie Geisert Main Library at 3301 Torrance Boulevard. For a full list of cooling centers available, call 211. And with the extreme weather conditions, Southern California Edison is warning customers to be prepared for outages. To help reduce the chance of an outage, set your thermostat at no lower than 78 degrees, close blinds to keep out direct sunlight, and use electric fans instead of air conditioning when possible. You can follow the latest outage information on their Twitter at SCE. And remember, the temperature inside your vehicle rises almost 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, so don't leave any children or pets in the car.
A fight over a parking spot at Ralph's supermarket turned bloody. One man was stabbed in the arm with a knife while fighting with another man over a parking space in Torrance. The argument happened outside of Ralph's located on West Carson Street. The attacker then left the scene before police arrived. He was later found at home and arrested on suspicion of assault. Both suspects were due in court for an arraignment.
City officials broke ground at the site of the new Torrance Transit Park and Ride Regional Terminal. Jesse Pierre was there and has the story.
After more than 10 years of planning and losing their previous transit facility, the city of Torrance found an even better location to build a bigger, iconic regional transit hub the city of Torrance truly deserves. Mayor Pat Fury and council members picked up their shovels to mark the next phase in development.
This is the official groundbreaking for our regional transit center. Very exciting day for us because we've been trying to do this since 2004 when our transit center had to be closed. And now we're going to actually start the groundwork for it. We got 18 months of construction, and when we're done with that, we're going to have the best bus terminal around.
The project couldn't have been made possible without the help of Metro and the $18.1 million funding which came from Measure R. Metro Deputy CEO Stephanie Wiggins is happy to have partnered up with Torrance to make this facility a reality.
It really benefits the South Bay because it helps the South Bay be more of a destination, as well as helping the residents of South Bay travel better within the city as well as outside of the city.
Engineering manager Ted Simon is anticipating construction for this $21.5 million project to begin October this year and to be completed by early 2017.
We're going to be building the Torrance Regional Transit Center. It's going to be a park and ride facility, and it's going to be accommodating not only Torrance Transit buses, but Metro buses and other regional buses to come into the site, drop off passengers, pick up passengers, etc.
It will allow us to do our connections in a safe location, a transit hub where all of our routes can come together and our passengers can make connections via the bus bays instead of on street as we're doing today.
Blueprints for the Torrance Transit Park and Ride Regional Terminal features a 250-space parking lot, an 8-bus bay transit island, and retail services. Wiggins is excited at all the employment opportunities that will be generated through this project.
One of the important aspects of transportation and investing in transportation is it is an economic engine creating jobs, both construction jobs that will be generated, Torrance residents will be able to participate, as well as after it's operational. There'll be operations and maintenance jobs to help run the facility.
And with the location right on Crenshaw Boulevard, next to the railroad tracks, there is hope for the Green Line to connect to the transit hub, making direct connections to LAX possible. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Jessie Pierre.
Thanks, Jesse. You can watch the entire groundbreaking ceremony on our YouTube page or get more information by going online to torranceca.gov and click on Transit.
Good news for commuters. Roadwork along Palos Verdes Boulevard just south of Pacific Coast Highway is wrapping up. The $3.1 million improvement project will be complete this week. The work, which began in April, is a mile-long stretch where deteriorated asphalt, gutters, and sidewalks were repaired, along with upgrading traffic signals as well as adding the new bike lane.
Troubling news for one of the newest supermarket chains to hit Southern California. Hagen Grocery Chain, which took over Albertsons and Vons stores earlier this year, announced they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Since acquiring the 146 supermarkets, the Washington-based company has struggled to win over customers. Hagen even announced in recent weeks a $1 billion federal lawsuit against Albertsons, accusing them of undermining the successful launch of Hagen's new stores in 5 states. 16 Hagen stores in California are expected to close in the next few months. None here in Torrance or the South Bay area will be affected.
With September marking National Preparedness Month, the city is encouraging residents to get involved in a 30-day challenge. Called 30 Days, 30 Ways, it's part of a national challenge to get residents prepared for disasters. Each day, participants are challenged to complete one task towards becoming more prepared in the case of a disaster. Daily challenges include tasks like preparing an emergency kit and sharing a picture or sharing a link to an article or book that helps you move towards being prepared. You can earn a bonus point if your post creates a social buzz or viral effect. You can visit 30days30ways.com for the 4 ways you can complete the task. The last day of the challenge is September 30th at midnight. And for all the latest updates from the city's Office of Emergency Preparedness, follow them on Twitter at TorranceOES.
With students heading back to school, the Torrance Police Department wants to remind drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists to be extra careful. School back in session means many children will be walking or riding their bicycles to and from school. As a reminder, the Torrance Police Department would like to remind motorists to slow down. Observe the speed limit in school zones at all times and be aware of all stop signs, especially around the schools. Drivers must come to a complete stop before proceeding with caution. Officers will be assigned to areas of traffic around schools to enforce laws. Also remember to be alert for walking children as you back out of your driveway, because a lot of them are on their phones. For pedestrians, remember to always walk on the sidewalk and wear bright-colored clothing to increase visibility. Cross only at corners or marked crosswalks and stop at the curb or the edge of the road. Walking in groups is safer as drivers are more likely to see a group of people, and before crossing the street, stop and look left, then right, then left again. Make eye contact with the driver to make sure they see you before proceeding. For bicyclists, wear a helmet. Be sure you have reflectors on your bike. Follow the rules of the road, and remember, be seen, be aware, and be predictable.
The media will get a glimpse of the high-end luxury wing that is set to open in October at Del Amo Fashion Center in Torrance. With just about a month to go, the media will get a first look of a 140,000 square foot Nordstrom and the new North Fashion Wing that features up to 100 stores. The event will have representatives from both Simon Property Group and Nordstrom, who will be discussing some exclusive new stores. Some of the larger stores in the Fashion Wing include Zara, H&M, Victoria's Secret, and Uniqlo. The event will then feature a private hard hat tour of the center that includes a 2-level mall and Nordstrom. Work on the more than $200 million renovation began in spring of 2013, with parts of the center already opened, including the new dining area called the Patio Cafe. Improvements will also be made to parking, lighting, and handrails. The Nordstrom and high-end fashion wing at Del Amo Fashion Center is set to open in October, with a special Nordstrom charity benefit scheduled for October 6th. Well, still ahead, how the city is showing their appreciation for our firefighters.
Plus, the local hospital celebrates its 90th anniversary in a special way.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality. He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him and I watch him cook because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too. We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Residents in the city are showing their gratitude to firefighters to commemorate a national anniversary. Volunteers gathered at the city's Volunteer Center on Cravens Avenue to package up cookies to be delivered to fire stations throughout the South Bay in memory of 9/11. The cookies were donated by the Torrance Bakery, Costco, and Doubletree Hilton. The packages of cookies were brought to various fire stations in areas that include Torrance, Redondo, Manhattan, and Hermosa Beach, along with Carson, Palos Verdes, and San Pedro. Each basket includes 5 dozen cookies along with other assortments. The packages were assembled by 7 groups throughout the South Bay. This is the second year this event has taken place.
The Torrance Memorial Medical Center is celebrating its 90th anniversary while honoring some of their most dedicated volunteers. Here's Ta with the story.
Torrance Memorial Medical Center had a lot to celebrate recently. With 90 years of service in the community, even some of their most valuable volunteers were recognized.
We've gone from 12 staff, only 6 of those were nurses, to over 3,000 staff and volunteers. What a great day to celebrate how far we've come.
Dan Colburn has been a volunteer for over 6 years. His connection to the hospital is one that's close to his heart.
My wife volunteered here for 29 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks. And then she passed on. I took over and volunteered now for 6 years. So that's my excuse for being here.
Colburn is a part of the Torrance Auxiliary, an organization made up of adult volunteers that has been a part of the hospital for many years now. Just last year, these 90-year-old volunteers donated over 159 hours of their time. These 11 volunteers, whose age range all in their 90s, represent the 900 volunteers at Torrance Memorial.
They're in the ER, they're in our welcoming positions like our information desk, they're escorting people, they're up in our inpatient units. You look around, you'll see a blue jacket anywhere on this campus.
Others like Alice Young have volunteered for over 27 years and are showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
It gives me so much more than I can tell you. I think it keeps me young, I think it keeps me active, and I love the feeling that I'm doing something for someone else.
For Colburn, well, he told me he hopes all the work pays off in one way.
You know what Bob Hope said when they asked him, how does it feel to be 100? He said, I don't feel anything till noon, and then it's time for my nap. So maybe that's my excuse.
And while the hospital celebrates 90 years of providing medical care to the Torrance and South Bay community, it's the volunteers who are truly honored today for their selfless commitment to serving others. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Ta.
Thanks, Tao. Torrance Memorial Medical Center's Auxiliary donated $188,000 to Torrance Memorial's foundation last year. For more information on how you can become a volunteer at the Torrance Memorial Medical Center, visit torrancememorial.org.
The South Bay Business Women's Association got together for their kickoff dinner at the Depot Restaurant in Torrance. Jessie Pierre tells us more.
I'm really excited.
Excited is an understatement for the president of the South Bay Business Women's Association, Linda Buffington. With a feature in the South Bay magazine, over 50 members in the organization, and awarding countless young girls with scholarships, Buffington has plenty to smile about.
We are basically, this eclectic group of women who come together just to raise scholarships for women who are high school seniors going into college and college women who need some extra financial help.
Buffington was a member of SBBWA for just a year before becoming a board member and now president. She realized that this was an opportunity to help many young women further their education and follow their dreams.
It's a great thing to do for the community to provide money to women who might not otherwise have a chance to go and get their degree.
Since 2010, SBBWA has awarded close to $40,000 in scholarships, helping to take some of the burden off the costly expenses that comes with attending college.
Our mission is to help girls. It's not just any girl. It's a girl who has done something like started a nonprofit or volunteered here or there or helping the community in one way or another.
Next year, SBBWA plans to award 7 ladies with scholarships.
Every year we have the problem of having way too many qualified people and too few scholarships, but we're hoping to grow the scholarship fund in the future.
Buffington is inspired by the women they honor and hope to raise even more money.
Incredible to see these young ladies and what they're accomplishing in their lives, so young in their lives.
The South Bay Business Women Association Scholarship Awards are currently $2,000, and the goal is to increase that. So the more money raised means the more money goes to deserving women to further their education. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Jessie Pierre.
Thanks, Jesse. The South Bay Business Women's Association scholarship applications will be made available October 1st with a March 28th deadline. Visit sbbwa.com/scholarships for the requirements.
A new report out says about half of Americans have either diabetes or prediabetes, which is surprisingly considered good news. The study found that after 2 decades of growing rates of diabetes in the country, it's finally started to plateau. Published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, also known as JAMA, the authors found that implementing nutrition and physical activity policies by governments are finally starting to pay off. The research team found that the proportion of people who had diabetes without knowing it decreased from 40.3% in 1998 to 31% in 2011 to 2012, but this decrease was inconsistent among racial groups. The percentage of Mexican Americans who were undiagnosed was higher than that of white and black Americans, and Asians were more likely than any other race to have undiagnosed diabetes. Researchers hope the study will motivate people to get their blood sugar checked, especially if they are overweight. And some tips for those with prediabetes: work hard to lose the weight, get more physical activity, and talk to your doctor about taking medication that can delay diabetes.
The new Common Core national standards may get more criticism now after the recent release of last spring's test scores. Results published by the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress found that less than half of California students passed the new Common Core line statewide test. 44% of students met or exceeded the English language arts standard, and 34% met or exceeded the mathematics portion. Now, Los Angeles County did slightly better than the statewide average, with 22% of students meeting or exceeding the English language arts standard and 25% meeting or exceeding the math standard. The low results are in part due to the higher standards instituted by the state. The new tests focus more heavily on reasoning and deep understanding. Now, the scores released this year will serve as a baseline for future comparisons. A total of 12 million students in 29 states took some version of these new Common Core-based assessments. TUSD is expected to release district results to parents and students sometime next month. Parents can visit TUSD.org and select statewide testing in the drop-down menu. Now, for more detailed information, there are resources in the city to help make sure your child is getting the help they need. The city hosts after-school programs for elementary and middle school students. Children can participate in structured homework time each day, as well as join group discussions. The programs are offered at several schools. For a full list, visit torranceca.gov/parks and select after-school programs. Torrance's Teen Center, The Attic, also offers homework help Monday through Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. The Attic is a drop-in program for 14 to 18-year-olds living in the city. They offer leadership skills, SAT study groups, and volunteer opportunities. No appointment is necessary. For more information, call 310-782-8828.
Well, still ahead, some upcoming events you won't want to miss.
Plus, one longtime Torrance resident and what amazing tricks he's being remembered for.
Welcome back, everybody. Providence Health and Services is inviting the public to a special evening focused on art and medicine. The event features a gallery walk of Andrew George's moving portraits of patients in their final moments of life, along with a seminar led by Ira Bayak, a professor of medicine at Dartmouth College. It takes place September 16th at Providence Little Company of Mary Medical Center. And the American Association of Retired Persons is looking for volunteers who will be trained to help taxpayers file their 2015 tax returns. Volunteers must commit to 6 hours of service 1 day each week between February 1st and April 15th. There will be at-home training in December as well as classroom training in January 2016. You can submit an online application at aarp.org/TA-volunteer. And Colin Kushner, I call him Mr. Boom Sauce, is here back in the studio with another great show.
That's right, Colin is back on the set of the Sports Desk. What do you have for us today?
Thanks for cruising by the Sports Desk studio. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook with any pics, video, or if you just want to chat about sports, I'll hit you back and give you a shout out on the show. Here's a little preview at what's going down this week. Hashtag Sister Sister. Two sisters look to lead the Bishop Montgomery girls varsity volleyball squad this season. Reporter Brittany Johnson has more from Bishop and their story. Plus, my weekly rant and the Twitter feed. That's 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on CitiCABLE. Boom sauce! We'll see you then.
Thanks, Colin. One Torrance resident is being remembered for the amazing rodeo tricks he did with his twin brother back when California was full of ranches and farms. Ta has more.
Lee Hendricks did a lot of things back in the rodeo days with his identical twin brother Byron Hendricks, creating one of the most spectacular animal acts in show business. Their signature trick involved jumping over a Packard convertible while standing on the backs of 2 horses.
If you say, I can't do it, you're not going to do it. But if you say, you know you can do it, you can just do it.
And he's followed his own advice. For more than 25 years, Lee and his brother traveled across the United States as a 2-man show, performing in venues from Honolulu to Madison Square Gardens and from Calgary to San Antonio.
Out here in California, one time we showed to 125,000 people at the Coliseum. And then we showed all over. You name a town, I've been in it.
Lee and his brother developed a love of animals at age 8 when their mother bought 2 horses for the family. It wasn't long before Lee and his brother began teaching their horses tricks, doing things that nobody else did.
He'd show me off, and then I'd lay down like I was hurt, and the dog would get on my back and give me artificial respiration. Try jiu-jitsu, and those are the things we did playing growing up and tumbling and working on trampolines, and just for the fun of it when we was young, and it helped us later. You know, it helped us to fall and it helped us to tumble.
Just recently, Lee and his brother were honored into the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame.
So within less than a year, we booked the largest show in the world, which is Madison Square Gardens. Not in the world, but in the United States.
His brother, Byron Hendricks, passed away in 1996, but his memory, as Lee says, still lives on.
And when he went out, he was the only one in the world who could take all the equipment off of his horse's bridles, saddles, and everything, and jump a hurdle.
Lee Hendricks, now 91, is showing that there's no stopping him from enjoying life to the fullest, doing what he loves the most.
But I still feel young. We go bike riding down the beach, maybe go to the gym. If you stay healthy as you get older and eat good, you live longer.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, this is Tao.
Thanks, Tao. Lee Hendricks and his brother were best known for their Roman King and Dog and Two Mule acts. Hendricks has been a Torrance resident for more than 30 years and currently lives in Torrance with his wife. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.